Hey, Favorite. So, welcome back to Favorite from Friday. For the first case for this week, we are going back to England. This case, we literally only have two sources for this case. I'm going to give what is publicly known because, as much as I am willing to cover international cases, as you will see on this channel. It is not as much coverage as it is had it been in the United States. So, like I said, I'm giving what I can down below. If anyone knows whether the victim or the killers personally, always put your info down below, please. Definitely let me know what you think. I'm gonna quit my rambling and let's go and get started. So we're gonna start off with Jody. Jody was said to have been born in 1988. Again, that's an estimate because we don't have a date of birth, so I had to do some math. Apparently, she would be arrested at some point for basically having a blade in public. So I would assume it was out, which was probably threatening to use it. Didn't specify on the charge, but apparently she was arrested and convicted, but only served a short sentence. What that short sentence is, it didn't say, because again, I don't have access to her arrest records because it's over in England. So then in September of 2020, she starts dating this guy named Lee Chug, who apparently was born in like 1978. So he's a whole 10 years older than her. Apparently he was a recovering drug addict who apparently lost custody of his daughter at one point, but he was trying to obviously get off drugs because that's obviously a requirement to get custody of your child back. So then in July of 2020, Lee over here, he winds up meeting this guy named Stephen Fogg, and winds up getting Stefan to buy a drink for him. So a little bit about Stefan. Stefan apparently is like 60, and he has learning disabilities and autism. So because of this, he has caretakers coming over to the house like multiple times a week taking care of him. The bungalow that he was staying in, apparently he, I guess like inherited when his father died back in 2017. He would get £150 a week, because that's their currency over there is pounds. Stefan luckily was very smart with his money. He kept most of it in a safe, apparently in envelopes in a safe underneath his bed, and then he only spent like $7.25 per day basically to buy like one drink, and that's it. So safe to say Stefan was actually pretty smart with his money. Apparently at one point Stefan would actually tell his caretakers about Lee, I guess out of excitement, thinking, this is a friend, and understandably his caretakers are worried because he is easy to take advantage of because of his learning disabilities. And so obviously I think it's actually said they actually tried to warn him about Lee because of this. And so another tidbit about Lee, which apparently isn't really important to the story, but it does show what kind of person he is. Apparently he would regularly volunteer for Red Cross, but had to stop due to COVID because, like I said, this takes place in 2020. Well, Ms. Rona popped off. And apparently he was known for like wearing multiple layers of clothing at all times of the year, no matter how hot it was, and basically kept up Christmas decorations all year long. So back to Jody, because remember, Lee and Jody are dating. So Jody apparently was over here addicted to heroin and was doing prostitution to pay for the heroin addiction, because apparently heroin is expensive. Lee would unfortunately get back into drugs. So in late September, we don't have an exact date, but apparently Lee and a woman, which I would like to assume is Jody, because apparently by this point they were already dating, and what other woman would it be? Apparently broke into Stefan's house and broke his TV, stole his TV, but Stefan didn't want to press charges, so charges didn't get pressed for that. So then we got to the fateful day of December 14th, 2020. Basically, Jody and Lee are drinking, and then they eventually go over to Stefan's house. Apparently he lets them in because obviously, like I said, he knows Lee, so I guess he trusts him, even though man stole your whole TV, but okay. So while they're in the kitchen, apparently, so I guess all three of them, so they both apparently stomp on him. He basically wound up getting a fractured jaw, shattered skull, 18 broken ribs, and 35 injuries to the face. So then obviously they leave. Lee apparently disposes of the bloodstained trainers. So I assume pants that he was wearing that got covered in Stefan's blood. They apparently got disposed of at a rail line. Those were apparently never found by police, even though he apparently confessed to it later that he disposed of them. Stefan apparently had a meeting the next day, because apparently this was a Monday, the day that he was murdered. But the meeting got canceled on Tuesday, so nobody heard from him Tuesday. Somebody was supposed to come by Wednesday, but apparently the caretaker that was scheduled to come see him on Wednesday, apparently she forgot to attend. She basically forgot to come to his house, and apparently said she was later suspended, and then he wouldn't get found until Thursday morning. And so the day after the murder, apparently it is said that Lee actually was arrested for hitting Jody in the face in front of a police officer. I guess obviously Jody never got charged because he assumed that Jody was just a woman getting hit by her partner. They are found 8 days later, 8 days I guess like, I don't know if it's 8 days after Stephen was found or 8 days after the murder, but basically 8 days later, they're found in a house. They both get arrested. Lee will basically try to say that, oh, Jody tried to stab him before we did all the stomping on him. So, maybe that actually killed him and not the stomping. Jody would try to say that she only kicked him 3 times, but we were both involved. And luckily, evidence did show that they apparently were both involved. So then Jody would say that, oh, Lee told me that Stephen was a pedophile and that's why we killed him. Defense obviously would try to say that the murder was not premeditated, and that apparently there wasn't enough evidence to show whether the reason why they were over there were to rob Stephen again, or out of anger to literally beat him up because we assume he's a pedophile. And I say assume because there's no actual proof that's come out supporting the evidence of him possibly being a pedophile. So then, of course, like I said, due to COVID, because this was 2020, very few people were able to attend Stephen's funeral, but he was said to have been a very loved member, so I imagine that's very sad for those who wanted to see him by, but they couldn't because, of restrictions. So then Lee was sentenced to life with a minimum of 20 years, and then Jody was also sentenced to life with a minimum of 18 years. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this case. Like I said, the international cases, especially the ones over the water, they are not as well. I mean, maybe they are over there, but not for some reason. I don't really see news articles about them over here. And I highly doubt anyone's written a book about this particular murder case. If they have, please correct me. Let me know what the book is called. But yeah, like I said, that's all I have for this case. I cover fatal females 3 times every week. Subscribe for more fatal females, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing.